Have you ever taken a bite of healthy fish, feeling proud of your choice, and then wondered, what if this isn't actually good for me at all, especially at my age? Maybe your doctor said, eat more fish, it's good for your heart. So you did. Tuna sandwiches, cheap fillets from the freezer aisle, whatever was on sale. But what if I told you there are 4 kinds of fish that can quietly speed up aging after 60, and 4 others that can help protect your brain, your heart, your joints, and even your independence? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know which fish to push away, and which ones you may want on your plate almost every single day. Picture this. Helen is 68. She's doing everything right. She's cut down on red meat. She walks 3 times a week. And twice a week, like clockwork, she makes herself a big plate of fish, because she's heard it's heart healthy. One night, she's at her daughter's house for dinner. Her granddaughter asks, "Grandma, are you going to come to my recital next year?" Helen smiles, but her heart sinks. Lately she's been forgetting small things. Names, appointments, why she walked into a room. Her legs feel heavier on the stairs. Her energy crashes by mid-afternoon. She shrugs it off as normal aging. But what she doesn't know is that the fish she's been eating, thinking it's doing her a favor, is quietly loading her body with toxins and inflammatory fats that may be working against her brain and heart, not for them. Now, I'm not saying fish is bad. In fact, the right fish can be one of the most powerful foods for healthy aging. But after 60, your body doesn't handle mercury, chemicals, and inflammation the same way it did at 30 or 40. So in this video we'll walk through 4 fishes you should avoid after 60 because of mercury, toxins, or inflammatory fat. And 4 fishes that can actually support brain function, heart health, bones, and muscles. And just a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and is not personal medical advice. Always talk with your own doctor or healthcare provider about your specific situation, especially if you have kidney, liver, heart, or autoimmune issues. If you're ready to turn your plate into something that supports your future instead of stealing it, let's start with the danger list. Part 1. 4 fishes to avoid after 60. Number 4. Imported catfish. The cheap fish with a hidden price. Catfish can look innocent. Mild flavor, easy to fry, often the cheapest option in the seafood case. But here's the catch. Imported farmed catfish, especially from poorly regulated overseas farms, can come with baggage you don't see on the label. Many of these fish are raised in overcrowded ponds where disease spreads quickly. To keep the fish alive, farmers may rely heavily on antibiotics and other chemicals. Those antibiotics and chemicals don't magically disappear. They can accumulate in the fish's flesh, and then in your body when you eat them. For seniors, that matters because your immune system may not be as strong as it once was, and your kidneys and liver don't clear toxins as quickly. Over time, that extra load can contribute to more inflammation, more stress on your organs, and less resilience when you really need it. On top of that, imported catfish are often fed cheap, grain-based feed like corn and soy. That tilts the fat profile toward very high omega-6 and very low omega-3. Your body needs some omega-6 fats, but when the balance is off, it can fan the flames of inflammation, especially if you're already dealing with arthritis, heart disease, or autoimmune problems. So you end up with a fish that is high in inflammatory fats, low in beneficial omega-3s, and possibly contaminated with residues you don't want. If you love catfish, you don't necessarily have to give it up forever. But it's wise to choose US-raised catfish from reputable sources, or better yet, swap it for one of the safer fish we'll talk about later in this video. Number 3. Tuna, the healthy fish with an invisible problem. Tuna has been a kitchen staple for decades. Canned tuna, tuna salad, tuna melts, fast, easy, full of protein. But there's a problem for people over 60. Mercury. Large, long-lived tuna species, like albacore, white tuna, and big eye, sit near the top of the food chain. They eat smaller fish for years, and mercury slowly accumulates in their flesh. When you eat tuna often, That mercury can build up in your brain and nervous system, and in your heart and blood vessels. For seniors, that can mean more brain fog or memory slips, numbness or tingling in fingers and toes, mood changes or irritability, and added stress on the heart and circulation. The tricky part is that many of these symptoms get brushed off as just getting older, when in reality, fish choices may be part of the problem. Even canned tuna isn't completely off the hook. Light canned tuna, often skipjack, is lower in mercury than albacore, but it's still not something to eat every day, especially after 60. Number 2. King mackerel. High in omega-3 and high in mercury mackerel is confusing because there are two very different stories. Atlantic or Spanish mackerel are smaller, safer, and can be very healthy. King mackerel, on the other hand, is large, long-lived, and notorious for high mercury levels. The bigger and older the fish, the more time it has had to load up on toxins. King mackerel is one of those fish that shows up on do not eat lists for vulnerable groups, including seniors. For someone over 60, regularly eating king mackerel can increase mercury stress on the brain and nerves, raise the risk of heart rhythm problems, and add to the toxic load your kidneys and liver have to manage. To make it worse, it's sometimes just labeled mackerel on menus or in stores, with no hint that it's the high mercury version. So the rule here is simple. If you're not sure which mackerel it is, it's safer to skip it. If the label says king mackerel, leave it on the shelf. If it's clearly labeled Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, that's usually a much safer choice. Number 1. Farmed tilapia, the junk food of the fish world. Tilapia might be the most surprising one on this list. It's cheap, versatile, and often marketed as a lean, healthy option. But most farmed tilapia, especially from low-standard farms, comes with 3 big issues. First, crowded, dirty conditions. Fish are often packed tightly into pens or ponds, which raises the risk of disease. To keep them alive, farmers may use antibiotics, pesticides, and other chemicals. These can remain in the fish and, over time, add to your body's toxin burden. Second, poor quality feed. To save money, many farms use corn, soy, and sometimes animal waste in their feed. This creates an extremely high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in the fish. Third, inflammation and possible contaminants. That fat profile can increase inflammation in your body. For seniors, chronic inflammation is closely linked to joint pain, heart disease, blood sugar problems, and possibly cognitive decline. Some testing has also found industrial pollutants, like dioxins, in farmed fish from certain regions, chemicals that don't leave the body quickly and can stay in fat tissue for years. So while tilapia looks like a healthy choice on the plate, the reality is often closer to nutritional junk food, low in beneficial omega-3s, high in omega-6, and potentially contaminated. With so many better options available, like cod, sardines, salmon, and trout, tilapia simply doesn't earn a place on a plate that's focused on healthy aging. Let's pause for a quick recap before moving on. After 60, it's wise to limit or avoid imported farmed catfish, high mercury tuna, especially albacore and bigeye, king mackerel, and farmed tilapia. Now for the good news. Let's flip the script and talk about the 4 fishes that can actually work like daily allies for your brain, heart, and joints. Part 2. 4 fishes that support healthy aging. Think back to Helen from the beginning. After talking to her doctor and doing her own research, she didn't give up fish. She didn't go on a complicated diet. She simply started swapping what was on her plate. Instead of whatever was on sale, she chose fish that were cleaner, richer in omega-3s, and kinder to her brain and heart. These are the kinds of fish she turned to. Number 4. Wild Pacific cod. The quiet muscle protector cod doesn't make headlines like salmon, but it's a fantastic choice for seniors. A typical serving of wild Pacific cod gives you a big dose of high-quality protein with very little fat and relatively few calories. On top of that, it provides important minerals like selenium and phosphorus, plus vitamin B12. Why does that matter after 60? Protein helps fight muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia, As muscle mass shrinks, balance gets worse, strength declines, and independence becomes harder to maintain. Cod gives your muscles the building blocks they need without overloading you with calories or unhealthy fats. Selenium acts like a tiny shield inside your cells. It supports thyroid function, helps your immune system, and fights oxidative stress, the rusting process that accelerates aging from the inside out. Vitamin B12 supports your nervous system and energy levels. Low B12 can lead to fatigue, numbness, and memory trouble, all issues that become more common as we age. Cod from cold, well-managed waters, such as Alaska, tends to be low in contaminants and easy to digest. That makes it especially friendly for older stomachs and more sensitive digestion. A simple way to prepare cod is to bake it with herbs and a drizzle of olive oil, then finish with a squeeze of lemon. That keeps it light, flavorful, and nutrient-dense. Number 3. Sardines. Tiny fish, huge benefits. Sardines may not look glamorous, but for seniors, they're close to a perfect food. They're very high in omega-3s, EPA and DHA, which support heart health, brain function, and joint comfort. They're naturally rich in vitamin D, which many older adults don't get enough of. They also pack calcium and phosphorus in their soft, edible bones, plus plenty of vitamin B12. This combination supports joint comfort and reduced inflammation, heart health and flexible arteries, bone strength and fracture protection, and brain function and mood. Because sardines eat low on the food chain, mostly plankton, they tend to be very low in mercury and heavy metals, making them safer to eat regularly. You can enjoy them straight from the can, on whole grain toast with avocado and lemon, mixed into salads, or stirred into pasta with olive oil and herbs. Number 2. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon, brain and heart. Guardian, if there's one fish almost every longevity expert loves, it's wild Alaskan salmon. It's rich in EPA and DHA omega-3s, which support memory, focus, mood, and healthy heart rhythm. These fats help ease inflammation in the joints and blood vessels, which is crucial as we age. Salmon also contains astaxanthin, a rare antioxidant that gives it its pink-orange color. Astaxanthin helps protect your cells from oxidative stress. That means support for skin, eyes, and brain tissue. On top of that, wild salmon provides high-quality protein, vitamin D, B vitamins, and selenium. Taken together, these nutrients can support clearer thinking and slower cognitive decline, less stiffness and better joint comfort, healthier heart and circulation, and stronger muscles and steadier energy. The key is to choose wild-caught salmon, especially from regions like Alaska, which tend to have lower contaminants than typical farmed salmon. You can bake it, grill it gently, or pan-sear it with herbs and lemon. Paired with vegetables and healthy fats like olive oil, salmon becomes a true food-as-medicine meal. Number 1. Rainbow trout, the underrated all-rounder. Rainbow trout doesn't always get the spotlight, but for seniors, it's a quiet superstar. It offers a generous amount of omega-3 fatty acids, just like salmon, helping to support heart health and tame inflammation. It's high in potassium, which helps balance sodium and support healthy blood pressure, something many people over 60 struggle with. Trout is also rich in B vitamins, especially niacin, B3, and B12. Niacin supports healthy cholesterol levels by helping raise the good HDL and lower the bad LDL. B12 keeps your nerves functioning properly and helps prevent fatigue and brain fog. You also get iron, phosphorus, zinc, vitamin E, and selenium, all important players in immune health, bone health, and protection against oxidative damage. In many regions, rainbow trout is raised in well-regulated freshwater systems. That means lower mercury, careful monitoring, and a consistent, safe choice for regular meals. Trout has a mild flavor and tender texture, which makes it easy to enjoy even if you're not a big fan of fishy-tasting fish. You can bake it with lemon and herbs, pan-sear it in a little olive oil, or grill it gently. It's versatile, gentle on digestion, and fits easily into a weekly routine. If you're looking for one fish to put on repeat, Rainbow trout is an excellent candidate. How often should you eat these good fish? Everyone's needs are different, and your doctor's advice always comes first. But as a general educational guideline, many people do well aiming for about 2 to 4 servings per week of the good fish, rotating between salmon, trout, sardines, and cod. The important thing is the pattern over time. Think of it this way. Every fish you put on your plate is either feeding inflammation and toxic load, or feeding your brain, heart, and future independence. Wrap up. Your plate, your future. Let's bring this back to you. If you're over 60, fish can be either a quiet saboteur, loading your body with mercury, chemicals, and inflammatory fats, or a powerful ally, supporting your memory, your heart, your joints, and your ability to stay active and independent. You don't need a perfect diet. You don't need to memorize every fish in the ocean. You just need a few simple rules. Steer clear of imported farmed catfish, king mackerel, farmed tilapia, and high-mercury tuna. Choose wild salmon, sardines, wild cod, and rainbow trout more often. Let your plate reflect the life you want. Strong, clear-minded, and independent as long as possible. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which fish do you eat most often right now? After hearing this, is there one you'll stop buying, and one you'll start adding to your cart? Share your answer in the comments. Your story might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear to make a change. If you found this helpful, feel free to give this video a like and share it with someone who loves seafood but also wants to protect their health after 60. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.